Today we're going to be talking about how we can write equations with given certain information. Now in the past, when we're writing equations, we've been given this form. Many of you know this, slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. I'm going to ask you now to learn this formula, the point-slope formula. Now it's a little bit longer, but it makes it a heck of a lot easier to use with the problems we're about to do. The point-slope formula is y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1. So when we actually find what we're looking for, we're going to have a y value here, we're going to have our x value here, but then we need to substitute for the y1, for the x1, and for the m. Now we all know that m is our slope. So as long as we're given slope, we can easily plug it in. The other thing we have here is a point, which is going to be our x1 and our y1. With this information, we can now write the equations of lines. So the first example here is, given that the slope equals 3, and it's passing through the 2 comma negative 1, create an equation of a line. So I'm looking at this. I have a point and a slope. I'm going to use the point-slope formula. I'm going to set this up. Again, it's y minus something, in parentheses, x minus something. We know that the slope is 3. Put that in here. We know that the x value, x1, is 2, and the negative 1 comes here for the y value. Now, if we want to leave it in this form, which we totally could, we just need to do some cleanup. What I mean by cleanup is, do we have any double negatives? Minus negative 1 changes to a y plus 1. And there's our equation. There's our point of 2 and negative 1, and there's our slope. Now, you may need to change this back to slope-intercept form, back to y equals mx plus b. Now remember, we need to get the y by itself. So in order to do this, we're looking to get this y all by itself. I'm going to do this in 2 steps. First of all, remember, whenever we have parentheses, we want to distribute. Don't do anything with this y plus 1 yet. Distribute. We end up with 3x minus 6. Now, to get rid of y by itself, add negative 1 to both sides. Here's our equation. Y equals 3x minus 7. There's our slope, there's our y-intercept. And you'll see that when we graph it, it'll also go through this point here. So here's our 2 equations. Same exact answers. Same equation, same line, but different equations. So let's look at this problem. We have slope equaling 1/4, passing through the point 12, 5. Y minus equals parentheses x minus. The slope is 1/4. The x1 value is 12. The y value is 5. We have a fraction here. A fraction times x is just the 1/4 x. 1/4 times negative 12. This is going to end up being negative 3. We've done nothing with the y minus 5 yet, so just carry it down. Last step, and we can leave it like this because there's no cleanup. Everything's minus. So here's our equation in point-slope form. This is our equation in point-slope form, what we started with. Right up here. Not too much calculation. Now if we want to change it to slope-intercept form, we distribute it, add the 5 to both sides, and we're left with y equals 1/4 x plus 2. And there's the other equation. Point-slope, slope-intercept. Let's look at letter C. So letter C is, our slope is negative 1/2. and it's going to the point 6,3. So again, I'm given point slope, I want to use the point slope formula. My slope is -1/2, the x is 6, the y is 3. No cleanup. There's our equation. Now we can change this. Slope-intercept, again, we're going to distribute. Leave the y minus 3 alone. -1/2 times -6 is a positive 3. We're going to add 3 as our final step. And our equation here is -1/2x plus 6. On your own, I want you to try letter D. And we'll check that tomorrow in class. Now, what if you're not given the slope? We're just given 2 points. Now, whenever you're solving a problem, you always want to think about how a plan of attack. How are we going to approach this? So, again, this is the information we're given. We want to know the equation of a line going through these 2 points, 111 and 2 negative 2, positive 2. Now, we do have a point, so we can use this point slope formula, maybe. Okay? But we don't have the slope. But what did we learn earlier in this chapter? How to find the slope given 2 points. So before we even mess with this, we need to find the slope. So the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. 2 minus 11 and -2 minus 1. 2 minus 11 is -9. -2 minus 1 is -3. When this reduces, we do get a positive 3. Did our subtraction first, and then we reduced our fraction. Here is our end value. We have a couple points we can choose from. It doesn't matter which ones we use. If we change it to slope-intercept form, we'll get the same exact answer. Now this is where I leave it up to you. Your choice on which point you want to use. Personally, I always like to use the ones that are positive numbers. Less mistakes to happen. So I'm going to pick this one. So y minus, setting up the problem. So my slope was 3. My x value was 1. My y value was 11. And there's our equation in point slope form. Y minus 11 equals 3 parentheses x minus 1. Okay. I'm going to do one more problem. Letter F from your paper. So it's going to the points 4 and 3, -8, and positive 9. So we need to find slope first. (9 minus 3), -8 minus 4. 9 minus 3 is 6, -8 minus 4 is -12. This reduces to -1/2. We now have our slope. Don't even worry that it's a fraction. So now we can just set it up into our equation again. Use either point. Now, I'm going to use the other one with the negative sign just because to show you what we would need to do. I start with my slope. I'm going to plug in -8 for the x, 9 for the y. Now this is where, because we have a double negative, we do have to clean this up a little bit. The y minus 9 stays the same, but the x changes to, instead of minus a -8, to x plus 8. and there's our equation. I didn't bother to take these two down to slope-intercept form. That's something we'll continue to do. The most important thing is starting to use this point-slope formula. So to finish off, there's another problem where it says you show me finding the equation of a line going through 2, 7, and negative 1, 8. So there's two problems you need to do to complete this. Hopefully this all helps. See you next time.